We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the parents' lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the parents' lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to a very special edition of the Parents Lounge Parental Mental Health Thursday night. Jamie Kaler here with my partner Jason Gowan.
Hi.
And our very special guest, one of my oldest friends here in Hollywood. I guess we kind of started in Hollywood. We're doing it. Frigid Souls X1X says Jeff. Jeff Lewis is here.
Thank you.
From the Guild, from many television programs, but I know him most as we used to do sketch comedy together for many years. And I don't know if I've ever laughed harder on stage than with you, my friend. Those were, I look fondly back on those wonderful times.
You going off stage to read your lines off a wall and then coming back on?
I forgot about that one.
Yes.
That was, I mean, honestly, that was every show. You'd think I'd remember that.
Yeah. Hey, get out of here.
We would have to try to memorize. It was pretty crazy. I mean, I remember, some crazy ass shows and stuff. And then, all of a sudden we got married and had kids and it all changed. And now we tried to put a sketch show on a couple of years ago and we tried to organize something. And then finally we're like, look, man, we got kids. We can't do this.
Can you imagine? I spent all Saturday memorizing eight sketches.
And driving to Goodwill stores to buy props.
Oh my God.
Who's that guy in the middle? He looks kind of familiar. This is Psycho Pigtails. By the way, Psycho Pigtails, fantastic band out of Boston. Really enjoyed that very much.
Very good band.
Jamie, you are the man. Frigid Souls. LXIX is 50, 60, 16. Oh, 69. It's 69, isn't it? How about my Roman new? Yeah, nailing.
Well, that was what the common thing that's how you learned numbers, wasn't it?
That was pretty good, man.
Wow, dude, that's a good snipe. That's a good. I'm so old that Roman numerals were actually what I had to learn in grammar school. I had to memorize my Roman numerals tables. Wow, Jason, coming right at me out of the chute. Insane.
It's been a bit. We've been off for a little bit.
Yeah. What's weird is my language was hieroglyphics. So if you want to just continue the joke, Jeff is hilarious. Bloody.
Thank you. Jeff is hilarious.
Here's part of the reason we're having Jeff on tonight, because Jeff is doing not only is he our favorite guest, and I ask him basically every week, will he come play?
That's true.
But he is doing a how long? 12 hour? A 12 hour?
12 hour. It's called a what is the word for it? Fundraiser, F-U-N. Fundraiser.
Wait. This word you're coming up with is confusing. What is this word you're saying? Fundraiser?
It's more fun than fund. Jamie, I have a Mac that is having trouble streaming. It can't do it more than an hour. It starts to freeze up, and I'm losing valuable followers and subscribers. So I decided to have a charity called Jeff Lewis. I'm raising money for a new powerful PC.
So the fundraiser is for you to it's for your equipment.
Yes, but anything over the amount I need, I will give. I am legitimately giving to a very nice a Haitian orphanage, a charity.
Is that the Jeff Lewis house?
I was the Jeff Lewis House of Haitian Children.
Little house of Haitian. Yes, it's a computer house.
So let me ask you really quick: what is the amount that you need?
Around
$1
$1,800.
jillion.
1 trillion. Yes, I'm sorry.
$1
Hey, Orphan,
trillion.
I can't tell you that, but no, probably about 1,800, 2,000 or something. I hope you get
I
that.
love it, the ballpark.
I know.
So
Well,
here's the trick. When you say once I reach what I need, I'm going to donate the rest to a Haitian children's fund. You should probably know where that line is. It shouldn't be a
2,000 is the line.
ballparky that day.
2,000 is exactly the line. I'll say that.
Helping humans like Jeff Lewis.
2 to 7,000.
The comments are already coming in, and I love it. I love it. It makes me laugh so hard. I'm loving this fundraiser.
Thank you.
It's really, it's smart. It's smart. You did it. You know what's funny? You did a GoFundMe for your first Jeff Lewis 5-minute comedy hour, I believe.
I did. I made about $30,000.
Well, you didn't make it. You earned it to shoot a show that I was in. I was wonderful, and it was really like high production value for the money.
You were adequate. You were very interesting. You're great. Everybody loved that sketch.
Did they?
And
you
raised money for that. It was
What
good.
was the sketch?
Feels off.
It
never made the final cut. I don't believe it was something.
You did not. It was just. It turned into a monologue.
Yeah, it was. I got cut out. I got replaced by a sock puppet, I believe.
Yeah, AI. It's about me betting Jamie that I can eat a pile of poopy, and I ate it all, and then he doesn't have the money, and I'm pretty upset.
I forgot about that. I honestly I couldn't have told you what the sketch was, but it was very funny. He eats a pound of crap. Yeah. Most of Jeff's sketches go dark, by the way, just in case. Filthy and dark. That's where Jeff's mind lives.
Oh, man, they don't call me. That's where my fundraiser comes in, man. Filthy, dark. Give me money.
Yeah, that's honestly that would be the name of your autobiography. Filthy, dark, and give me money. I feel like would be. Why
are you not doing an OnlyFans, Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
I did. I actually had to give people money back after I did it. It was bad. It was bad. I actually had to refund. People were not satisfied with what I had to offer, and I actually ended up losing money in that deal. I probably lost about 7,000, which is why I'm doing this. I mean,
makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, when they asked,
for Jeff's page, they changed the name from OnlyFans to Only Horrified People Who Want Their Money Back, and it was a long URL. It was very hard to find.
They actually said, "Please don't show me your junk."
They paid you money to like turn the lights off, I believe is what I read.
Please, can you pixelate that out?
Narcolepsy calls it only refund. What we're asking is if we'll give you $10 if you could pull like a potato sack over your head and turn the lights out. And you're like,
I lost a bundle on that deal.
You did, but honestly, you gave it a shot, and that's really what it's about in this business: is putting yourself out there, trying the craft. You listen. It's your junk. You showed it. If they don't want it, that's on them.
Man, I took a bath in that. Yeah, it was rough.
And unfortunately, that was probably not the smartest choice, was to take a bath, because people did not want to see you bathe on OnlyFans. That was
no. The OnlyFans, please ask me to leave.
Under Armour pays me to not wear their gear. Actually,
I have an anti-sponsorship campaign.
It really crashed. Yeah,
that's funny.
OnlyFans stock dropped heavily.
Well, our kids are going to see this one day, and they're just going to laugh and laugh.
It won't be good.
I saw something today in the news that said they're trying to make social media only accessible to people over the age of 16.
Oh.
Which I couldn't be more for. Like, is there anyone that's not for that? Any parent who's like, no, I would love my 12-year-old to get on Snapchat. Is there anyone in that? Let me hear from the fans watching. Anybody? Yeah. Anybody? Like drinking? All these things are age requirement. Shouldn't social media be at least 16 years old? Yes.
And if it's the sad thing is all parents agree, but we're not doing anything about it. It's still happening.
Well, it cuts into my drinking time, Jeff, and I can't.
Yeah, it's true. My OnlyFans time.
Our school, and this was great. I think it was the first year they did it. And we have a smaller school, so there's only one class per grade. And the parents all signed an oath to not give their kid a smartphone until high school, because my
That's
daughter's going
great.
into 6th grade. There's already a couple kids with smartphones, but apparently those smartphones are only used for, there's limited usage. They're not on the internet, is what I've been told, but I don't believe that.
That's a good idea.
Lady Nutmeg says, I teach 6th grade. A lot of parents ask for suggestions on how to get their kids off of their phones. Well, Lady Nutmeg, do you have any answers? Because that's exactly what we're asking for.
I would love some techniques that would help.
I just had a fight just now. Both of my kids' iPads are right up there in one of the cubbies, because I'm starting to really drop the hammer and go, nah, I'm not giving it.
Yeah.
I don't. And it's hard, because as a parent, it's hard on us. The second we take it away, all of a sudden our life is an absolute ruin, because they're incessant. It's like a stalker. And they're stalking for it. Being an adult, take them away. Yes, Dan Wally, I am an adult. I am taking them away, and I'm dropping the hammer. And unfortunately, we went through a period when they first got the iPads where they were in Roblox, and we were kind of like, yeah, what's the problem? Yeah. And Lady Nutmeg, thank you, does not have any answers either. Good idea. Cut off the main source. She does not have the answers. Yeah. I know.
We have a Spectrum, and I cut off their internet access whenever I want on my phone on an app. It's great.
Yeah. That's very effective.
Wait, I'm sorry. What? I don't have that.
My Spectrum app, you can pause the internet for their pads anytime you want. So,
but just specifically for their pads, so you can still have it.
So you can control what devices can connect.
So you can be in your room totally zoned out on pornography and whatever you're trying to do. Nothing, no problems there. Then you can search Rotten Tomatoes to find a good movie to watch after the pornography you've just enjoyed or whatever. But you can use that even though your kids are shut off.
Exactly. It's great.
Nice. Just got you guys at the start. Jamie, I noticed you were in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend when I saw you in an episode of it last week. Ha ha ha. I was in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
With Matt Knutson.
With Matt Knutson. Yes.
I was cut out.
That was a fun show. That was a fun one to do. That was.
I'll tell you, we're trying very hard at LAUSD. They're really trying hard. They actually are proposing like these bags. They put them in these magnetic bags so that you give it to them at the beginning of the day, and they use a magnet to open it up at the end of the day. So it's a huge.
It's coming. It has to happen. This is the test. This is the guinea pig generation, and they are going to suffer. They are going to suffer the rest of their lives from the damage we've done to their brains on this shit.
It's really the social media to me.
I think it's social media. Absolutely.
Not the pads so much, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because we have a problem. We don't have a problem with Jace getting bullied because he's so young, but I know that at school, when he runs into it, it's the issue. But eventually it's going to bleed over if he has access to it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, bullying back then happened at school or in sports, and then ended when you went home. But now they have access to you even when you're there, which is a whole other.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's also back then you were bullied by all the kids who were in the school. Now, a 45-year-old dude in Michigan can get in your ear and start going like, "Hey, I'm a 12-year-old girl. Can you send me nude photos of yourself?" And then they do the sextortion thing.
I'm bullied by a 59-year-old television actor weekly.
Honestly, that guy, Jeff, I've bullied Jeff many times.
I still, in 3 a.m, a kid still comes over to my place and gives me a wedgie. just to simulate social media.
Simulate social media.
Just to make sure it keeps them, the same.
How's it going? I'm actually feeling pretty good about myself. Is there any way that somebody can come by and make me feel like a real piece of shit?
I know.
Jamie, were you bullied in high school?
I actually, yes. And I wrote a big article I'm actually going to put out here in the next day or two. It's on my website, jamiekaler.com. But I wrote a huge article. I'm starting to write short stories. And I wrote this out as a short story. Yeah, I was horribly bullied. I was a redhead. This dude was like 2 years older, outweighed me by like 80 pounds. And every day for like my freshman year in high school, tormented me. And it was really, it's probably why I'm a comic and why I have a sharp tongue, and also why I'm very fast. I didn't fight. I ran, and it haunts
Yeah.
me to this day. But if you'll end up reading this story eventually, it's a long. I wrote this big long article about it, and I felt bad about running for a long time. But when you read like Sun Tzu in The Art of War, it says if you're outnumbered, run away. Right? Like that's the battle plan. Is if you're outnumbered, run away and fight another day. That's part of the policy of war. So looking back, maybe I made the right choice, but I was like.
But wasn't it one-on-one?
It was one-on-one, but I wasn't a fighter. I was 14.
Yeah.
I was still like 7 years away from even shaving. This dude had me by a lot. He was probably like 16 years old, maybe even 17. He was waiting to drop out. My mother finally went to the school and was like, "Hey, can somebody protect my son? Like, this is a train wreck on a daily basis." And the guy was like, "Well, what are we supposed to do?" Like nowadays they'd be like, police, there'd be social media protests. But back then they're like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Life's full of hard knocks.
Can I tell you something? It takes a lot to get a kid in trouble at LAUSD. Like to get a kid kicked out of school, he's got to knock somebody out with like a hammer. It is really, there's so many, with these big school districts, it takes a lot to get.
Well, it's funny because, here's my point from taking it about the article I wrote is that like, this was physical bullying. This guy was on a daily basis trying to beat the sweet Jesus out of me.
Yeah.
That I get bullying. But with my kids, like she'll come home and Claire said to me yesterday, she goes, one of her friends told her ears were too big. I go, you tell that kid to go, like, if it's just verbal, we used to say, sticks and stones will break our bones and names will never hurt us. Not anymore. You can say something to a kid and that kid is into a deep spiral of horrible shame and pain. And like, you really shut up, dude. I mean, is it, Jeff, because we've gone to 1 billion auditions where we literally have been told to our face, we're not good looking enough. We're not, we've just been basically bullied through acting to a point where I was like, okay, I guess that's who I am.
And you guys have also done stand-up. I mean, that's even worse. I mean, what you've had to go through from audiences just sitting there.
I had a 90-year-old man heckle me the one time, and he was like completely incoherent, and he's yelling, "Is he still on the stage? Is he still talking?" And I was mortified because, like,
what's funny, dude? When I was coming up and doing stand-up, I thought like comics, like huge name comics, just didn't bomb ever. And then you read stories. I was reading something like 2 days ago. Ray Romano ended up playing like the Gator Growl at University of Florida, in the stadium in front of but his whole act was about being a dad with kids. And so he talks about it. He was supposed to spend the night there and he finished it. And he was like, "Get me out of here." And then he drove to the airport. Apparently some woman in the front row, like he was a few jokes in and she was like, "You better start being funny soon." And he never forgot it. And he ate it at the Gator Growl or whatever. And you think like people don't bomb, but then you read stories of like everybody bombs, dude.
We did something in Austin to thousands of people that was a total bomb. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, because the sound cue didn't go off.
It's true.
Do you remember that?
Yes, but
we do a sketch show, Jason, in Austin, Texas at the Sketch Festival. We all fly out there. We go through, a cue to cue.
The first show killed that you missed.
First show killed. I missed it. That's because I was shooting something. I had actually booked I booked a commercial or something. I shoot a commercial. I fly in for the second show. Alex Borstein's in the show. Was Maz? Like
Aaron Ehrlich, probably.
Aaron Ehrlich, like showrunners, writers. Borstein was a monster then, just crushing. This was before Mad TV. And we go to do the show. We're all on stage in the dark in our positions, whatever pose it opens on a pose, and it opens with a sound cue. And there's a whole a big sound thing. The whole sketch, we don't say anything. There's a voiceover that never plays. So we stood there in the light for like a minute and a half. Nothing happens. Nobody moves. Everybody's like, "What's happening?" And finally, we were like, "This is." It's all a blur to me, Jeff. Do you remember it well?
I just remember it was nothing. It was all downhill from there. It was bad.
And it was in front of thousands of people. It was in some auditorium was it UT? It might be at UT or
Yeah,
something
it
or
was
other.
UT. It was
Palmer
awesome.
Palmer Auditorium, maybe, I
Yeah.
don't know. And I just remember walking off stage like, wow, that was
It was
that
bad.
did not go well.
Yeah. But I think you become steeled to that. Yeah.
So here's my point.
Yes.
We are snow plowing for our children constantly, to the point where, like, someone will call me. One of the other moms will call me and go, your daughter said something, that hurt my kids' feelings. And I'm always like, absolutely, I'll talk to her, and I'll talk to her and I'll say, listen, we don't do that. It's about inclusion. It's about empathy. It's all about that. But also in the back of my head, my kids don't do that with me. They don't come home and say, I mean, Claire said it the other day, but I said, so what? What do you care what she says? What do you care what somebody else thinks?
Yeah.
Stop worrying about that. Stop thinking that way, because it's going to happen your whole life.
Yeah.
Snow plowing is when you, like, parents, it's they push all the problems out of the kid's way, right?
Yeah.
It's the same as a helicopter mom or a backpack mom. They're over the top. You're snow plowing, so you're pushing all of the problems out of that kid's way. And I think, there's been a ton of studies about the fact that our kids also don't have free time to play, because even this summer they're in camp like every week, and they don't have a time. They're never bored. They're never
they aren't bored ever. And if you even introduce the idea of boredom, they revolt almost immediately.
Oh, the things my kids have found to do when it's pretty cool, but they'll also just sit there. But they have books they'll go to too, so I'm glad about that.
We just did so my kids didn't even tell me, but I saw an email from the kids' school, and I wasn't here. I was on the road when my kids' last day of school. I was in Reno doing stand-up. So apparently they came home with a bag that had like summer workbooks and summer problems and all this reading stuff and a reading list and all this kind of stuff that my wife didn't see because they didn't give it to my wife. And so I saw the email. So I got home Sunday, and Monday morning, school, like, summer started, and I go, hey, where's the bag? And they go, what are you talking about? And I go, where's the bag with all the summer stuff we're supposed to get done? And they go, oh, I didn't know anything about that. I don't know anything what you're talking about. And they finally gave me the bag. And there's workbooks. There's a reading list of, like, seriously, 50 books. I'm like, even I couldn't read this many books in the summer. But
what is it for the next level, the next grade?
Yeah, so,
oh, it's the same school.
There is something to it where they, it's so funny. We study and we study, and then we take the whole summer off, and then we come back and we're like, what is math? Like, it's so painful. And so there's IXLs on. Hey, Freddie B's here. What's up, brother? So I have been like, I use the iPad as a negotiation technique. I go, you want the iPad? I need 5 language IXLs and 5 math IXLs, or I need you to read 20 pages in this book, or I need you to do your workbook. And they're like,
some balance.
Yeah, but the iPads are right here over my shoulder, so they're not getting them until they get their stuff done. But Hannah's like losing her mind. Like, she does not want to do it.
There's an addiction with this pad. I mean, my son never listens. He'll walk into a room with the pad, and we tell him, you're not supposed to watch it. He can't help himself. He cannot help himself.
It's not his fault. The algorithm is dictated, and they even talked about it. I saw this study. That was the one I talked about, and that it's designed very specifically for whatever he's doing. All this other stuff just comes flooding in, that they go, hey, you like that? You're going to like this. You're going to like this. You're going to like this. It's dopamine. And it's, my wife's on Instagram all the time. Listen, I have to fight it. I don't know about you guys. I have to fight it and go, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going over, because sometimes you're driving or whatever, and you just pick up your phone and you flip on to Instagram, and you're like, why did I just do that?
I read it has the same brain pattern as a casino. When you pull down the thing to see what you got, an email or a text or something.
That's the ding. The ding.
Yeah.
You can feel the course through your veins. Like, who wants to talk to? Who's talking to me?
Somebody likes me.
Somebody likes me. Somebody likes me.
Yeah. And it turns out.
Yeah, and then it's never good. It used to be good. Like, when the phone rang, sometimes it would be your agent or your manager, like, oh, this maybe a job or something. But nowadays, it's like nothing. There's nothing good. I just ignore the phone most of the time. I saw this other one. It was talking about this woman, and she has her daughter wanted to go on Instagram and be an influencer. She wants to be an influencer. And so the kid goes on, and she's a dancer. So she's posting, she's a wonderful dancer, nationally ranked, and she's posting pictures of herself dancing in, of course, dance leotards or whatever she's wearing. It's, she's young, very young, and the dress is skimpy dance attire, and she posts it all. And she starts to get some followers, and it's starting to go well, and they're making some money and stuff. And then they look at the followers.
Oh.
93%. She was like, I think she's like 12 years old, a dancer.
Yeah.
And 93% of her many followers, adult males. Adult males. And here's what I didn't know is that, and she didn't know it, her photos and basically any photo of kids from these Instagrams are being traded amongst a crazy group of pedophiles on the black market, on the black dark web, right? And so they trade these things, and they have the chat rooms. And this woman got really involved to see where the photos of her child were going. And she went down the rabbit hole and found this whole thing of like, so the kid thinks, and over a few years, I think the kid made and she was a pretty good influencer. She made like 20 grand. Like, people think these people are making millions of dollars. And some are, very few. You need a jillion followers, but you can make, even with 100,000, you can probably make $10,000, $20,000 a year. If you're posting every day. If you do the math of it, you're making like less than minimum wage, but right. That's the hook. That's the allure. But the truth is that for kids who are doing it, it's all dudes. It's all middle-aged dudes who are like, and here's what she said, which I thought was a crime against Instagram and whoever else, is that the algorithm, if you're a middle-aged dude and you start liking 12-year-old dancers, and some of the comments are like, gorgeous. Oh, this young lady's gorgeous. Which is like, wait, is that creepy, or is that, it feels like, if you don't know that kid, like, I would never write that on some kid's thing. Oh my gosh, you are really growing into quite a woman.
It's weird no matter what, because like, if you're also like treating them like oogling them at a dog show, you're like, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like it's the same, but it's weird either way.
He holds up cards, 9.8, 9.7. I really enjoy this one. But here's the problem with it. Instagram sees what you like. Doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter if the world thinks what you like is creepy. Instagram goes, you like that? Because they want you on there 24/7 as well. So they do is send you more of what you like. So if you like that, they go, no, you like that. What do you see this kid? This dancer's out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and boy, she can dance.
That's how my TikTok feed turned into all close-up magic.
Say again, Jeff?
They also don't know, like, nobody knows who anybody is. I mean, Instagram doesn't know who the people watching are either. I mean, it's all just.
Dan Wally says it. That's the most concise. There's no morals in the algorithm.
No.
The algorithm is designed specifically. It's X's, it's ones and zeros. Do you like this? Then you're gonna like this.
And it used to be it was just pageants, like little kids doing pageants. Now it's.
I mean, the Jean Benet stuff still to this day. You're like, wait, I'm sorry. How old was that kid? Full makeup.
Was she 11 or I don't even know?
I forget. I honestly don't know.
No,
honestly, really just us talking about Jean Benet feels creepy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just feel off. Yeah.
Did they ever figure that out? They didn't, did they?
Never got solved. I don't think. Does anyone know?
I think everybody's
going to come out. The brother did it. The father did it. It was the caretaker. It was the plumber.
I know. I never did.
They should just do a game of like a celebrity clue. The John Benet Ramsey.
Clue. That's exactly what it was.
It was
the brother did it. The brother did it with a dream catcher in the billiard room. Like,
oh my god, that's really funny.
It just, we talk about this and people. It's like raising kids now. Like, I get it. In the 70s and 80s, my mom was always worried I was going to get kidnapped, and I get that. That was a valid fear, and there was no way to track your kids. But now, it's almost the opposite. It's gone so George Orwell, 1984, that
It's like,
Yeah.
where's the freedom, but also the safety of it all? I don't know.
Let me ask you this question, though. Let me pose this question. Do you think that people seem more fearful of a kidnapping, but do you think things have always been the same or better than they were in the past? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a perception that there's more kidnappings, but I bet when we were growing up to now, it hasn't gotten like, there hasn't been some huge jump where parents should be more concerned. They're just more, they're
It's
just
way less.
making us more fearful of it.
So
Does
Jon
that make
Stewart,
sense?
just on the Daily Show Monday, he talked about the fact that research is out now that says, the studies say crime is down, like
Yes, that's what it is.
by
I mean,
huge
yeah.
percentages, even in the big cities where everyone is. And then they jump to Fox News, and Fox News says,
Yes.
that Fox News goes, I know the numbers say it's down, but people don't feel that way. And
That's
it's just
what I mean.
one more example of us ignoring facts and going, I feel this way. But we feel this way because Fox News and other channels is telling you, because they're preying on your fears. And it's not just Fox. It's whether it's the left or the right, it doesn't matter. Once news became for profit, it stopped being news. And it became, you're appealing to a certain demographic that you want to, again, keep the algorithm to keep them coming. So you can, it's all about selling advertising. It's all about advertising, and it's about money. And so we are being misled. Most of us are in this. I mean, I would say 90% of this country are in the same boat of just trying to get through this thing and raise our kids the best we can, be the best parents, be considerate, and do the best and get through this thing. And yet we have been divided down the middle because that's where the profits are.
Yes.
So
I could probably send my child out and she'd be just as safe at riding a bike around than I was when I was growing up. But it doesn't feel that way. I don't know.
It doesn't. Well, also, we are in a major city.
Yes, true.
My wife also says, she's always like, the crime here is way worse. And I go, well, there's 12 million people here, just so we're on the same page. 12 million people.
Yeah. And
then you see, but there's crime everywhere. It is what it is. But crime is down. And I think the crime surge was because of the pandemic. And people were like, I think people may be finally starting to come out of it. But I mean, the pandemic utterly destroyed me personally.
We went through some shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's in the past. That's what's so weird to me. It seemed like we'd never, we were just, on online doing school and riding our bikes and that. It's so weird how it's like in the past.
I just posted the video from my special on my YouTube page 2 days ago. And that was I shot it right at the end of the pandemic. I couldn't even watch it. I put the album up. The album did well. I actually do well. It plays on Sirius XM all the time, all the different bits from it. But the video, I was like, I can't even. I finally watched it and I was like, I can't believe I made the hardest time of my life as funny as I did. Because I was like, it was, dude, we were like, it was gruesome here's my real dilemma with what's happened from the pandemic. And I talked to family members and I called a family member recently and they were like just lighting up Fauci this and the numbers and I go, dude, I don't want to talk about it. I don't care. I don't want to play that game at all. But I will tell you, here's what I think is going to happen. Like that pandemic, was what it was. We were told to wear masks. We were told this, we were told that. They're doing the best they can. We got through it, but here's what's going to happen. It's not going to be our last pandemic. Humans are living too close to animals. Like things are going to jump again. There's going to be another pandemic and people are going to think it's the same kind of pandemic and go, well, none of us are going to do any of these precautions because last time it was bullshit, but it's going to be a totally different disease. And it's going to be something where you're like, no, this is the one where we should. So it's going to be,
it's going to be bad.
What are you going to do?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It's like life wasn't this hard and technology was supposed to make our life better. But every time I try to go onto a website and log in and do something that I go, can I just call someone on the phone? They're like, no, You've got to log in, give us all your information, a pint of blood, and then their site's down, and you're like, can I just talk to somebody on the phone for the love of God? And they're like, no, you can't.
If I want to find out what flavors are at Minchie's, I have to log in to my account. I mean, it's too much.
It is too much. Lachlan Patterson has that whole hilarious bit about having to build the pizza profile.
I got to build an app. They go, are you using it? Even when I go, like, take my kids to McDonald's, they go, are you ordering on the app? No, I'm talking to you, dipshit. If I ordered on the app, I'd be on the app. I don't want to order on the app. Can I just, I don't know. Maybe some of the people who are here are like, no, the app's the bomb. Sometimes I refuse to put apps. But we're also, let's see what some of these people say. Some of the comments are flying by. What's it say? Oh my God, I'm spending a month in a city that is only 400,000 people coming from 3.7 million city, but 7 million metroplex cities. So nice not to be crowded. Okay, all right. I'm not sure what that. I refuse to put apps on the phone to do stuff. I just go without. That's us. That's me too.
Yeah. Taco Bell app is the bomb.
He goes, this is good. Dan Wally says, sad to say it, but not enough people died for us to change. That's so true. Curbside takes longer than drive-through now. That's even funnier. Tall BM. He's got a tall BM. I work in software for a living. No way I'm giving all my data away. It's too late. They already have it, I believe.
Yeah.
Jeff, I am an NFT. Did I send you that? I shot a commercial for crypto.
True? Yeah, he is an official.
I mean, that's crazy. I did some commercials for crypto for this company called Bitwise, which is the spots were super fun and they're fantastic. It's kind of a throwback to the Justin Long, John Hodgman Mac versus. It's those. I'm old. I play old finance. Who's like, the market's closing, and the other kid is Ethereum, who is like, we're open 24/7, and we did it that way. But the first spot went up on Twitter today, and they made it an NFT. So all the crypto people, it's already been minted by a ton of people, are minting minting NFTs.
What does that exactly mean?
I know. I'm gonna buy
crazy.
Jamie Kaler.
There was a whole contract with the appearance. We shot like 6 commercials and then did this as one of the things, but it was very cool and super fun. And it was just like all of a sudden I'm like, oh. And so the people were trying to explain it to me, but I'm so out of the loop that I was like, I'm sorry, what? They're like, you're an NFT, you've been minted. Then you go, okay.
God. What does that mean? Non-fungible token or something? Or?
Yeah, it's a non-fungible token, which, was a big thing a while ago and then kind of faded. This is more of like, it's not like people are paying $10,000 for an NFT like they were with like a Wu-Tang Clan's album or how it goes. But this was more of a. So these are one of those things like collector's items. Like my kids play Roblox, and then they want a couple bucks to buy a hat for their character, and you're like, "Well, it's not a real hat, right?" And they're like, "No, it's a virtual hat." But the money's real, right? Oh yeah, no, the money's real. The money's
actual, yeah. You can't get it back. Yeah, that's funny. Hats.
Let's talk about the fact that Jeff is going to be twitching, live streaming for 12 hours,
noon to midnight.
Do you have a porta potty? Are you taking breaks to eat? How's it work?
Probably not. Maybe some breaks. We have a lot of videos we show. I'll probably do a dog walk with a dog cam. Maybe a nap cam. I'll take a nap.
Nap cam?
Nap cam. I'll probably close my eyes for a few minutes. I'm going to do some VR boxing.
Wait, you're telling me you can't stay up from noon till midnight?
It's not that well. I'll be interacting with people constantly. There's no break from, it's a lot. I'll be playing games.
Honestly, interacting with humans is a lot. I couldn't agree. I totally agree.
And at the same time, playing games as you're looking at chat and all that, it's a lot.
You need a producer who can follow the chat, right? And do the comments and stuff on the side.
I look over sometimes when I'm playing, so I can kind of talk to people as I go. It's a lot. But I
felt bad. You asked me to play, and I said I'll play, but I haven't played video games or VR world in a long time, man.
I know.
Yeah, he went into VR one time,
and I almost threw up. That's true. But
my brand is, my brand is the shit show. So it's oh my god, it's pretty. I think it's upside down. Oh, yeah, good.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's right side too.
Just kidding.
Do you have which headset do you have, Jeff?
I have that. I have the Meta Quest 2.
Okay.
And by the way, I have 2 of them now.
Do you wear one on the back of your head as well so you can see behind you? How does it work?
I do, Jamie. In case I turn around, I want to know. I want to be virtual on both sides. It's important.
Well, Jeff, we don't have you for much longer, so I want you to tell me what's going on with your crazy kids and summertime and going down. They're traveling right now, but are they camping it for the summer?
You know, that I was going to bring that up earlier because actually I might have to turn to camping. Oh my God, Deaf Amanda. She came on my stream. It's very interesting. She's hearing impaired, but she has a way of being able to I guess there's a system, like something that crawl that goes across that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Anyway, so
I love her name, Deaf Amanda.
Yeah.
It would make life so much easier if everybody put an adjective before them.
Yeah,
you know, like mine would be like stupid Jamie, and then go, oh, that Jamie's stupid. We'll have to explain stuff to him. But I like Deaf Amanda. That's awesome.
Yeah. She was. I think I shouldn't assume I should say they. But so what I wanted to say is we went camping last weekend, and one thing I noticed that happens all the time is kids turn back into kids. And I got to do it more often, because when you get away from when you camping on the pad and they're camping, it is really remarkable how they revert back to kids. So we did that last week, Thursday to Sunday, and it was incredible. And I want to camp now all the time because it is the only thing that gets them off the pad, and they don't ask.
Did you even bring devices with you?
No. Oh well,
not even in the car. Were they there for the car ride?
They were there for the car ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never asked for it. There was no internet, but there was no talk of it ever. And I just feel like it's the only way to get them not to ask, to go to a place where it just isn't available.
So it was their own little reboot.
Yes. And my son actually in a hammock reading. I mean, it was like, I wanted to cry, like, my God, they're playing volleyball. We're building forts. I mean, shit, man. It's the only.
It's so funny because that's how I grew up, even though I got to be honest, I don't like camping. I don't like that. I'm not a camper, but I would go with my kids specifically. But as a kid in New Hampshire, like I had forts. We had woods behind our house, a cornfield. Yeah, I was always out there running around like a lunatic. And yeah,
but
I don't know what the answer is.
It's great. I mean, I recommend it to anybody if you want your kids to unplug. They will turn into kids within seconds.
Well, that's the studies. That's what the studies say is that the problem with what we're doing to these kids is that their brain everything's so orchestrated and scheduled that they just go from one activity to the next that we dictate for them. And they never just sit down and go, what should I do? And so there's no creativity because they're not like, well, I guess I could do a puzzle. I could go in the yard. I could do like, remember when you just sat and played with like little toys? And my kids don't do that anymore. They jump from one thing to the next. And when they're not doing that, they're like, well, I'm going to relax and watch TV because my next appointment's coming up in an hour. Yeah.
They're waiting for the pad. That's all it is. Boring. They're bored. It's all about waiting for the next time they can watch.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Good times, man. Raising kids is fantastic.
But I want to go camping now. Like, I mean, I understand people are writing about how they could do a cabin and not a tent, but you can do the tent thing. Like we have a tent, we have we don't sleep on the floor. We have a cot with a mattress and pillows, but it's in a tent, a pop-up tent that takes a second to pop up. And it's not.
But you put the sleeping bag down, but you put the little roll out mat underneath.
Yes,
we put a cot,
a blow up mattress, and a sleeping bag, and it's not that bad. I promise people, it's much better these days.
I've slept like that. Yeah, it's all right. You're not getting my wife in that tent, by the way, just so we're on the same page. There's not a chance in hell, my wife.
We have showers. We bring a shower thing and put it on a tree.
I've seen it. I go to REI and I walk through REI and I go, oh, somebody's showering outside.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, I know I don't like it.
I like a good hike and stuff.
Okay,
but yeah.
I don't like anywhere trees.
I just kept catching poison ivy, and I don't love mosquitoes. I used to fish. I loved fishing as a kid, but I don't know. I grew out of it.
I hate mosquitoes too, by the way.
You hate what?
I hate mosquitoes as well.
They're the worst. They've killed more people on Earth than any other creature, I believe. Mosquitoes have.
Yeah. Only
terrible.
It's but Anyway.
Well, listen, we told you we'd get you out of here because you are going live at 9. So for those of you who are watching this on Twitch, Jeff in about 13 more minutes is going live to play
Fortnite.
Great.
Fortnite, and talk about my stream tomorrow. And
really quick, for those people who do want to come over and catch you on OnlyFans, what's your handle on OnlyFans, real quick?
It's big Jeff.
Big Jeff.
Big hard Jeff. I don't know. I got nothing.
Big hard Jeff.
It's just really. It's just. I don't know, man. It's OnlyFans is.
It's great stuff. Listen, I'm over there, and honestly, I think you could win an Emmy for your work on OnlyFans. It's fantastic.
Oh, thank you. No, I've.
And it's only you too, so it's almost like a one-man show. Because I remember one time I was watching you on OnlyFans, and I think you were doing like the entire Christmas Carol, which was great, and you played all the characters, and it was super. And you were nude, fully nude. Which I twisted.
That is his best work for my money. The nude Christmas Carol.
It's a good one too. He'll also, if you catch Jeff anytime, I think he does it rarely, like once a year or something, but he does puppetry of the penis, which is fantastic. It's superb.
I do actually a Christmas. I do a fruitcake. I kind of shape it to a fruitcake-ish kind of thing, and
which is funny too, because I've seen you just relaxing naked, and honestly, you have resting fruitcake junk. It's like you don't even have to do much.
Like, it never ages either.
It never ages, and it's like a fruitcake. It comes out once a year, and no one's eating it. No one will eat the fruitcake.
When it sits hard,
on the table,
throw it out.
It gets hard, and then people just throw it out.
Just throw out my penis. Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Okay.
Well, listen, I don't want to hold you up. Honestly, dude, I could do this all night long. I fucking love hanging with you so much.
All right.
And here's what's funny. When we used to do this at Acme, we would go buy props, we'd rehearse shit, and then we would do a show for like 9 people on La Brea. And sometimes they would be like, we'd go out and do a show. There'd be more people on stage than in the audience. And even that was magic. But honestly, there's a ton of people watching. So this is kind of fun.
I remember like you'd come out, and after about 5 seconds, you knew the sketch was going to bomb, but you have to stay there for 4.5 minutes and just finish it. And I would look at you.
It's a joke. You can't. Honestly, we should have just at certain like points in sketches gone, all right, it's not working. We're out, and walk.
We tried so many sketches that were just, and I remember we look at each other like, oh boy, we're in. This is it, man. We got to settle in. This is.
Jeff had a sketch called bottled water one time.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
The whole premise was me. I'm working. He's at the desk next to me, and he just keeps going, "Hey, you drink water, right? Yeah, I drink water. But you drink bottled water, right?" And I go, Yeah, I drink bottled water. He goes, all the time? Well, not all the time. I can't remember how it was like 7 minutes of that.
I think it was like we kept on disagreeing. Like I said, you drink water, and you said no. I only drink tea. I don't know. It was just ridiculous.
It was so ridiculous. And we couldn't get through it I couldn't get through it with a straight face. I mean, sometimes the audience wouldn't laugh once, and Jeff and I would be rolling on stage of like the most ludicrous sketch. But sometimes you do drink it. I mean, sure, sometimes I do. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, you were like making me crazy. Like, I swear I've seen you. I have nothing. Water. I have a mortgage. I have a wife. I have kids. Please, you drink water. Just tell me you drink water. Oh, it's ridiculous.
All right. One of my favorite people on earth, Jeff Lewis. Thank you so much. Be sure to check him out tomorrow on Twitch. He's doing his 12-hour. And listen, it's a fundraiser for a very important charity, so you're definitely going to come by and support him on that cause.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Lewis. All right,
leaving the studio.
Good night, buddy.
Get him
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Oh, I love him.
He's the best. He makes me laugh so hard, dude. We didn't talk about anything on the list of things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we never do.
That's not true. Social media, I talked about. The whole, which is a big deal, about my kids' Uncrustables. You have some amazing news this week that I know some of the people who watch us regularly will be very excited to hear. So, I share what's going on.
First of all, Brandon, that is awesome. Glad to hear that your art is improving. You are a very talented dude. I'm very glad that you are loving what you're doing. That's great. Somebody else asked when I was at Hawaii Pacific University. I was there in 2001 is when I started. But so my children, my twin sons, who are 5 years old, are autistic and are. I'm not going to use the word nonverbal anymore. I would say they are non-fluent, and all thanks to being in an ABA. Oh, you got a marriage proposal.
I mean, I don't know how my wife's going to feel about it, but yes. I mean, listen. Psycho Pigtails. Wait a minute. Is that my wife? That might be my wife. Psycho Pigtails. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but yes. And I'm so sorry to interrupt you with that. Your children are getting amazing care recently, from what we talked about.
So they're in an ABA therapy school, applied behavioral analytics and analysis, and they started receiving once a month, every 3 weeks, therapy from a world-renowned therapist who works specifically with the condition they have, which is called apraxia, in which the muscles around the outside of their mouth did not form properly, which is why they're not able to form the words. And so Anthony is now moving on to 3-syllable words. And Logan, who previously was not saying very much of anything, is moving on to 2-syllable words. And Jamie, 2 years ago, we were told they were never going to speak. And
I was there with you. We did that show that night, and we were all in tears of you were like, my kids are never going to speak. And yeah, it was heavy, dude. So it's amazing to see this come around. And we talk a lot off camera and stuff about this, and obviously the show is parental mental health and it's about comedy and stuff. But the stuff that you're going through, I think so many other people are dealing with these kinds of things, and so it's great to hear that. I don't think people knew this help was out here before this.
No, it's been really great. Mallory Lewis, who is the daughter of legendary ventriloquist Sherry Lewis, and also the current handler for Lamb Chop, has been so instrumental in kind of pointing us in directions for resources in the apraxia space and speech therapy space, as well as the school that we're working with the boys. So we have been so lucky, and Mindy Sterling has also been so helpful in kind of telling us what resources are out there for kids who have autism. So if you are struggling with autism and there are resources that you are, maybe you're lost and you're kind of feeling like, I don't know what to do next, please feel free to reach out to me, because if I don't know, I probably now know somebody who does know the thing that you need.
It's crazy because we doing this show, all of a sudden, all these amazing people reached out, like Mindy Sterling, who people know from Austin Powers,
the Goldbergs.
Yeah, like every show ever. One of my favorite comedians, and we're going to be doing a show with her in November. She's coming to do the Parents Lounge with us. But her grown son, is autistic. He's done the show with us, and he was hilarious and wonderful. And we've had so many guests on here about this subject matter, and it was something that we talk about how crappy social media and the internet is and stuff, but a lot of times it is amazing when people, back in the day had no idea how to cope with this thing. And then there's support groups and people who are going through what they're going through, and they're able to kind of, go, there's a lot of other people going through this and I can learn from them. So I think what you're sharing is really super helpful to people, dude.
I'm very lucky that the resources have kind of fallen into our laps. Like we were I have spent a lot of days really hurt and upset that my kids were not being helped in the way that they should have been and could have been. And I think I'm a pretty smart guy, but the resources are not easy to find, and they're not a clear cut, because a lot of times there's that nasty insurance thing involved. And if your medical insurance doesn't want to pay out, it's a fight, and we've had to fight. So I'm happy to help anybody who's going through some stuff. Shannon C says, that is amazing, Jason. How has my health been? Because last time you had to talk about health issues you've had. Oh, still going on. The brain lesions are still a thing, which is causing my arms to occasionally not work and just go completely numb and unusable. But they did start me on a new medicine, which is helping for the pain and the lack of feeling, but it is also causing me to hallucinate. So I apparently told my wife that there were horses in our bed the other night.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Oh, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I'm starting an equestrian team, but only at nighttime.
My kid wanted a horse. I could just, if you can tell me the medicine, I could just give her the medicine and then she'll think she has the horse, but I don't have to deal with the horse because I think feeding the horse and keeping the horse is the painful thing. But if I could matrix her brain to think she has a horse, how fucking great would that be? I mean,
the medicine is, I can even tell you.
Let's look it up. Is there could you get a specific medicine that will be like horses?
Yeah, it's called carbamazepine is the medicine.
I'm gonna need some of that. Yeah. Because when Claire goes, hey, can I get a pony for Christmas? I go, yeah, absolutely, you can. And then I just give her some hot chocolate on Christmas Eve. And then she wakes up and she goes, I have a horse. And I go, of course you do. That's your horse.
This is Princess Sparkles.
Jason meant to say he was hung like a horse. I don't.
Well, why else would they stick around? They wouldn't. They wouldn't.
I mean, really, aren't hallucinations just really like living in the Matrix? Oh my gosh, the hallucinations must be so scary. Why are they scary, Shannon? Can't hallucinations be fantastic?
I heard like a hallucination. I heard puppets talking on the floor, which was very entertaining. I thought it was
actually
great.
That sounds pretty terrifying. I mean, puppets in general are. I mean, if there's nothing scarier, I can't.
But they weren't like ventriloquists. They were like Muppety puppets. Like Kermit's not scary.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's awesome though, dude. It's really cool what's going on with your kids. I mean, obviously your health and luckily there's an AI so because we don't know how long you're going to be here.
I'm currently you can check out my interviews about AI and our work we're doing with AI on now CNN. If you go to CNN.com and go to their show Decoded, where the episode about open-faced AI. We're in that episode about 3/4 of the way through, and I just did NPR about it, and we have a whole story on ABC News coming out in mid-July.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing what you're going through, dude. So anyone who's kind of going through that needs to reach out and hit your pages because, I mean, the stuff you're kind of getting to see through all this whole thing with the AI is pretty cool.
We had the AI on the show a couple of weeks back, and I don't know I don't know if anybody else has done what we did.
We're going to do a whole show where I'm going to put a string of questions together and go like, what's your favorite comedy of all time, and see what AI says versus what you say and how closely AI matches, like not questions that are easily definable, but questions that you would have to kind of, if somebody goes, what's your favorite movie? You're always like, ugh, what is my favorite movie? I'd love to hear AI answer that question.
So we're going to play the AI dating game.
We're going to play the AI newlywed game.
Newlywed game. That's what it is.
It's in more of the newlywed game where they go, the husband's like, they have to answer questions. What's your biggest pet peeve about your wife? And then she says, oh, it's the fact that I like to keep the bedroom warm when we sleep. And then he's like, no, it's the fact that you're banging my friend Frank. It's like those are different answers on that show.
What happened to Jeff? Was he placed with AI? Yeah, I believe that. I don't even know that was the real Jeff.
Listen, it's 9:00. Jeff is on Twitch right now, so all of our numbers should be shrinking immediately while you jump over. Oh, there's Jeffy Lou. He commented, I was. Look at him. He was on the show. Get off. He's right. We should get off. I have two kids I have to go put to bed. But super fun show. I'd like to wrap with it's not a parenting thing per se, but the fact that Donald Sutherland passed away today. One of my favorite actors of all time. And maybe a reason why because he wasn't like a typical movie star looking guy, yet he could play the leading guy, Ordinary People. He could play the crazy guy, Kelly's Heroes, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He could play basically anything. And Donald was a great man. He really was. He was one of go watch the original MASH. He's Hawkeye Pierce before Alan Alda. He's the bomb, man. Animal House. You see his bum. You get to see his bum in Animal House.
And I wanted to.
He's got a delicious bum. It's fantastic. And he smokes a joint with Tom Hulse. And it's just fantastic. And so, I don't know. It's kind of I think that era of movie stars are over. Invasion. That's the one I posted. I posted the that's the picture I posted on Instagram. That first Body Snatchers one, it's not the first because McCarthy's the first one from the 50s, but the remake in whatever. And then even like Don't Look Now, pretty crazy. Clute.
It was in the Hunger Games movies.
He's even in the Hunger Games. Yeah, I know he's in everything. And yeah, and Kiefer Sutherland's dad. I just think that era of guys who are like iconic movie stars are over. I think it's it's YouTube stars. Jamie, when are you guys going to be live again? Ugh, from your lips to God's ears. Well, here, let me tell you very quickly, and we'll leave this with this. The way we did our show, we do a road show that is through theaters and sponsorships in small towns, and so it was super fun. And we have a couple gigs coming up. We're in Pennsylvania.
November 8th and 9th.
Yep, I was just in Reno. I think we're going to end up doing one in Sonoma. Reach out to us privately. If you live in a town, we would love to talk to you about coming live to your town and doing a show. And actually, Mindy Sterling's coming to do our show this year. Justin Ruppel came and did it last year. We have a slew of people, and so we kind of bring people in. But yeah.
And if you're looking for this show again, we are live every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific. 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you say it, please, Kaylor? I'm lost.
Well, listen, that's the brain lesions talking. And so
It might be.
We are here every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And listen, if you're watching this on Twitter or if you're watching this on Instagram or anywhere else, we can't see your comments. So if you're like, why didn't they talk about our comment? We can only see the comments on Facebook and YouTube.
And Twitch. We can also see Twitch.
We can actually see the Twitch ones too, which was really fun tonight because we don't do a lot of Twitch, but with Jeff Lewis, we thrive on Twitch. Jason needs to install more brain.
I'm actually going to eat another handful after
the
show.
Well, he has an appointment with RFK, and RFK, they're just going to hold their heads together and let the brain. It's going to be like that Star Trek movie. It's like, the creatures climbed into my ears, Captain. And they're going to go into his ears from RFK Jr. into Jason's ear. And that will those worms will then eat the brain lesions.
I hope so, because they're very expensive.
And honestly, it would be nice if you could use your arms. Let's face facts. Arms are pretty necessary.
Also, you know what? Insurance doesn't cover the brain worms. They don't cover it.
We are starting to do live shows again. So we thank you for asking. And we're going to try to hit more towns. Obviously, we have children, so we're going to pick and choose and go out carefully to do some live gigs. But we're really thankful.
Show actually next Friday or next Thursday evening. Right before this show in Waverly, New York at the Legacy Lounge, if you are in our area.
I'm in Glendale, California with one of our buddies, Brian McDaniels and Nicole Birch, one of our guests. That's next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
29th, I believe it is, here in Glendale, California at Flappers Comedy Club. So come see us. And definitely keep in touch and let us know what's happening and comment so we can kind of reach out to you guys. But we're so thankful. We have a huge audience tonight. And we're really I always say, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this, but honestly, we do this because it's a parental mental health night. And I feel so much better after.
Me too.
It's comedy. It takes comedy and laughter. And that's what I realized when I put my special up on YouTube I did a whole comedy special about the pandemic, and the fact that I could laugh at the worst time of my life is really.
Where can people find your special?
It's on my YouTube page at YouTube/Jamie Kaylor. So go find it and come watch my special. It's 1 hour, and it's the video that accompanies my wife's on stage and she's scrolling her Instagram account while I'm performing. It's pretty great. That's pretty great.
Pretty fantastic.
I'll post it, but honestly, thank you guys for being part of the show tonight. Especially, it was a super fun crowd. The comments are insane. You guys make me laugh so hard.
You guys are fantastic.
Yeah. So, for Jeff Lewis, our guest, Jason Gowan, myself, Jamie Kaylor, thank you guys so much. We'll see you here next week in the Parents Lounge.
Good night, everybody.